Welcome back, guys, and in this video we're going to talk about 9 mistakes new boaters make. That's right, I understand new boaters make more than 9 mistakes, and some of us veterans do as well, but we're going to talk about some of the less common ones. Guys, before we get started, hit the subscribe button below and let's begin. As all of our infancy and new boaters, we do make several common mistakes. One of the first ones I see people make is, well, taking their wife boating with them. That's right, I said it, guys. Let the shock and awe set in for just a few moments on that one. But what I'm really talking about isn't not taking your wife boating with you forever, but she really shouldn't go out on one of those first trips with you. You're going to be learning something new, a new experience that's very stressful, and really you're better off to do this with some people who have some experience. So go ahead and get some of your friends together who may already have some boating experience. Let them go out with you a few times, kind of show you the ropes and some of the things you can learn to expect on the water. Because I'll tell you what, if you take your wife out on that first trip and you start yelling as you're trying to dock, things are going to go real bad real fast on that trip. After you've done it a few times with your friends, I would even still recommend taking a boat out a few times on your own, just to kind of get used to everything. And once you really get comfortable with that, even by yourself, then you might be ready to go step up to the game, guys, and bring the wife and kids out on the boat. Once you do get them out on the boat, go ahead and show them how to do some things. Let them handle the docking lines and various aspects of the boating as well, because they really do want to get involved and help out. And if you let them get involved, everybody's going to have a happier time. And the number 2 mistake I see new boaters make is going out and not having a plan. That's right. All too often I see new boaters go out trying to fly by the seat of their pants. Don't be this guy. Go ahead and put yourself a post and pre-launch checklist together. This will help you determine the items that you need to evaluate every single time you guys get out on the water, and this really will help save you some time and some headache. Make sure to remind you to check those blowers. Make sure your batteries are charged so you just don't have any unexpected surprises at the ramp. If you're having a tough time getting your list together, go ahead and enlist some friends. I promise that'll help you get it together. Go ahead and assign a few tasks to the family as well. Once again, they want to help. But just remember, nothing will end a day faster on the water than somebody forgetting to turn the blower on right before you start the motor, guys. The day is done at that point. Number 3 mistake I see new boaters making, guys, is going out and buying a brand new boat. Now, I actually understand how this one happens because most of the time they're already intimidated and you don't understand what to look for in a used boat. So a new boat just makes good sense because it's going to come brand new with a warranty. It's easy to finance. But go back and look at your first car you bought. This was my first car when I was a kid. It didn't take much long. After a few months, it looked like this. Now, I still can only imagine if I would have went out and bought a brand new car that looked like this, within a few months, I probably was going to have a very similar result where it was going to look like this. So go ahead and do yourself a favor. Try and find a nice, gently used boat that you won't mind dinging and scratching, because it's going to happen. You're going to run into the dock a little bit too hard. Your wife or somebody's going to be driving and something's going to go wrong. And once again, just kind of give yourself that peace of mind that you don't have to stress so much about it in the first boat. Go ahead and save that new boat for probably your 4th boat, because you're still trying to even figure out what kind of boater you are. And the last thing I want to do is see you go out and spend $100 on a new boat just to one day be out on the water and decide you're going to go ahead and do something like this. Number 4 mistake I see new boater making is not buying their second boat first. I know what you're thinking right now. You're thinking, Broncos Guru, you just told me not to buy a new boat. Correct, and I still am telling you not to buy a new boat. But if you are on the fence on 2 boats, one's a little more expensive, one's a little bit nicer, maybe a little bit bigger, and you can't decide which way you want to go ahead and probably step up and buy that little bit bigger, nicer boat right up front. If you buy the smaller one, you're likely going to want to upgrade within a year. If you buy the next size up, you're likely going to hold on to that one for several years and really get an experience to try and learn what kind of boater you really are. This is going to help you discover what you want to do with the 2nd, 3rd, and probably that 4th boat, which, like I said, once again, should be your new boat. And the number 5 mistake I see new boat owners make is not understanding the full cost of boat ownership. That's right, guys. You just went out and bought your boat, put her on a 20-year note with a $600 a month payment. Please don't do that. But now you're going to have to make it rain to keep her running on top of that. That's right. Even a quick Google search will tell you that around $4,300 a year is spent just on insurance, winter storage, and maintaining your boat. That doesn't even include fuel, which you're going to need every single time you go out. And you're also going to want to have to keep some kind of CTO or Towboat USA membership just in case you run into any issues. And then you're also going to have the unexpected maintenance costs that come up with boat ownership. You really do have to be careful when you're buying a boat. Make sure you well underbuy what you think you're going to need, because the payment is going to be escalated severely. You're probably going to want to keep it in marina. And if you bought a bigger boat than you thought, you're actually going to even need to upgrade your tow vehicle. Other than that, you're still going to have fuel, as we mentioned earlier. Every time you go out, guys, fuel is the king. And the number 6 mistake we see new boaters making, guys, is not understanding the rules of the water. Picture this one for a second. You got a new baby in the back seat. They got the keys in their hand. Are you going to move them over to the front seat of the car and let them go out there and just start ripping it up? Probably not, because they don't know what they're doing. Even though there are still a few states here in the U.S. that do require some boater safety certificates for you to get out on the water, for the most part, in a lot of these places anymore, you can just walk into a dealership, slap some cash down on the counter, get out there with a boat that afternoon, and be ripping it up in the water no basic knowledge of any of the rules that goes along with it. That's right, you could be out there not understanding the markers, the buoys, anything. Heck, even just the basic knowledge of understanding who has the right of way in a basic boating situation can become clouded very quickly. Coast Guard does have some free courses you can take online, but these guys probably aren't going to take them. They're probably not even going to read the instructional tips that the manufacturer gave them. It makes the waterway just a little bit more scary. The number 7 mistake I see new boaters making is not understanding the capacities of a boat. That's right, they just got their new boat, they're super excited, we're getting all of our friends out tonight. Forget that little placard that tells us how many people and how much weight we can get on it. I mean, that really is more of a guideline than a rule, correct? So they're getting everybody out there, we're going to hoon it up and have a good old time until the conditions turn a little rough, and the next thing we know, we're stuffing the bow. That's right, things can go bad really quickly when you overload the boat. You will stuff the bow, likely fill the boat up with water, and you are probably going to capsize it. One of the major things you need to understand with boats and capacities is they vary by conditions, and you need to keep the weight in the back of the boat as well. And number 8 on our list of mistakes that new boaters make, guys, is not properly outfitting their boat. That's right, they went out and spent $100,000 on that brand new beautiful boat, but they're going to buy the cheapest dock lines they can, the cheapest bumpers they can. Heck, we're not equipping this thing with a VHF radio. We got cell phones, we don't need it. The reality is that all these things are important on a boat, and you guys really should get them. If you're going to spend the money for a nice boat, go ahead and get yourself a GPS. Go ahead and outfit it with the U.S. Coast Guard required equipment to make sure that you're safe when you're out on the water. If you go offshore a bunch, go ahead and buy a little DeLorme inReach or something that will actually track your offshore movements and help keep you safe. Make sure there's enough life jackets on the boat for everybody and follow those throwable guidelines as well. And still, I see a ton of people that don't even have a first aid kit on the boat. Guys, go ahead and man up and spend the 15 bucks for one. And the number 9 mistake we see new boaters making is drinking and boating. That's right, this one might not make much sense to most people because they're like, what are you talking about? These two go hand in hand. I mean, that sweet ass bow rider has a bunch of coolers built into it. And when I'm out on my tune, that's the only time I'm drinking before noon. But guys, reality is drinking and boating is a very dangerous thing. It really isn't something that should be experienced at all, especially if you're the captain that's driving the boat and you're responsible for everybody else's life on board. Please take that very seriously. And when you guys get out there and start drinking, bad things just tend to happen. I mean, it's not uncommon for me to see this almost every weekend where there's some group of boaters out there getting into a fight or argument just because somebody got too drunk and can't pay attention to what they're really doing, guys. But guys, thanks for watching again. Please subscribe, and I hope you enjoyed it.